You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com, where we will consult you on anything as long as we're legally allowed to, and as long as you pay me. So go get the swift kick in the ass that you need from the older brother you never had at AssholeConsulting.com. Cappy, I'm curious to hear what you know about Femdom fetishes. Very little. Although I did date the dominatrix, the premier dominatrix of Minneapolis almost 20 years ago, and I did not know she was the dominatrix at the time. That is a funny story that is sad and depressing at the same time. So, mine is purely sexual, and I have no desire for it to spill over into my everyday life. I have a thing for pantyhose, high heels, long hair, and long legs. Well, okay, 3 out of the 4 of those is fine. The pantyhose thing, yeah, it's a little weird, dude. I mean, what guy, yeah, set of heels, long hair, long legs. There's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty much every American male. That's pretty much every global male. I cannot say for certain, but evil female villains such as Xenia from GoldenEye have introduced my brand. What was Xenia? Let me go here. Let's take a look. Let me see what we're doing here. Maybe you should do your research before. No, I don't think I should do that. Xenia. Not Xena Warrior Princess. Xenia GoldenEye. Oh, she looks like she looks like a Russian kick-ass Nazi type thing. Okay. Should I be worried about this weird obsession? Do I really need to worry about how it affects my relationships? I do not let the cat out of the bag with my girlfriends because I can read their signals and act how I believe they want me to act. Should you worry about it? Yes and no. This is just the old captain's take. I have a rule, like, anything is fair game. Whatever you want to do, you could go do your thing. If you're into bondage or go-go, you can go do that. If you want to dress as a furry, that's fine. As long as you're not hurting anybody else or yourself, cool. No problem. As long as there ain't, like, you're not diddling little kids and there's pizza involved, fine. All right. It doesn't matter. However, it may affect your relationships because most girls, I don't know, maybe most girls are, but I doubt it. Most girls are not necessarily into that, and that's why I would believe, dating the bondage girl, I did learn some economics about. Of course, I would pull the economics lessons from dating a bondage girl. After I found out, it's like, people pay for that shit. So it's like, you go to get tortured by a dominatrix, and then you go back to your regular old life. That's how it works. So there's your little wife in the suburbs, and oh no, dear, ooh, please, can we do doggy style? And then you go get your kicks with some other gal that'll actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Satiate, do those things. But it's that dominatrix thing is kind of in a minority, so it's a niche. So you'll have to go and pay for that, and there are people out there that will do that for you. So when you bring it up to your girlfriend or your wife, hey, I like you to tie me up and gag me, well, that person better have that fetish too and be into that shit. And maybe you can introduce them to it. Maybe you can do a flyby, see how they react. Of course, I'm operating this for, like, Minneapolis has what they call Bondage a Go-Go night at a club called Ground Zero. So you could go there, and there's people in cages. It's kind of entertaining. Even if you're not into that, it's kind of like, wow, this is kind of funny. But you can see your girlfriend's or your wife's reaction to it. She's, oh, that's kind of hot. Then, hey, there's the green light. She's like, oh, this is weird. Let's go home. Then you got your nice little prissy, Christian Sugberg girl. Let's go to... Where do they go? Let's go to Denny's for their omelets. And then you're going to have to get it somewhere else. I do not let the cat out of my bag with my girlfriends because I can read their signals and act how I believe they want me to act. Yeah, that's kind of a good deal. One woman happily obliges me since I mustered the balls to ask her, and another woman was neutral but does not participate. What do you think? I think you're doing it the right way. I mean, in the ideal world, you'd find the love of your life who's also into that, and you play the gimp and she plays the gimp-or, the gimpy, whatever. There's ball gags and leather and plastic and all that other shit, and you guys are doing your thing. I have a... I mean, unless you're hurting kids or you're hurting yourself or there's drugs involved, who's to judge, really? I mean, honestly, the pantyhose thing's a little weird to me. The rest of it, though, and I've stewed I thought I saw things, and until I ended up talking to the yahoos over at the Beckloff podcast, and the shit that you really get to see what humanity does with this internet. I mean, because this is 20 years ago. I don't even think. Yeah, I mean, this is right when Napster was a thing. Like, oh my God, you could download music, and it would take an hour to download one song. Well, now with all the video and the shit on the internet, a pantyhose fetish and a high heels fetish, that's like, you're like fucking church going. I mean, that is nothing compared to the weird ass shit those guys were telling me about. And yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about. But that doesn't mean you go to the extremes of the internet. Well, compared to fucking tentacle porn, this is nothing. It's like, that's not an argument. Just keep it on the down low. Do what you're doing. Kind of see if they're into that shit. I mean, you could just ask them, like, were you into that shit? You get a little wink in your eye, and she's like, ooh, well, okay. Women are into it too. It's not just guys, so. Anyway, but yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with you. I just wouldn't bring it up on the first date when you're dating a girl from the Wisconsin Synod Lutheran Church. Best of luck to you. Toodles.